This is a story on BBC News. School almost eliminates bullying with break time ban on games. So a school claims to have almost eliminated bullying by banning games like football at break times. And the head teacher of the school, the Hackney New School, such a surprise that it would come from that bit of London, but says there have only been 5 reports of bullying this year because, well, they're not doing any fun stuff anymore. Rather than kicking a football around or jumping skipping ropes in the playground unsupervised, pupils practice sonnets by classic poets like Shelley and Tennyson or quiz each other on capital cities.
I saw a little exchange on Twitter a couple of weeks ago. Toby Young, he posted some meme in which he was like, if you give up your freedom, be careful, you can be safe and you can be fed 3 times a day. Be careful what you wish for. And the picture was of a lion in a zoo cage and then a lion, out on the savannah. And obviously the lion out in the savannah is threatened with starvation. They die, they encounter other bigger lions that kill them and stuff. It's a dangerous life, but which one do you want to live? And Adam Rutherford, a geneticist from UCL, posted this response saying that actually lions in the zoo live twice as long as lions in the wild, as if he hadn't realized that Young was aware of that, but was still saying you're willing to just sacrifice any kind of sense of dignity or kind of the ability
autonomy.
Yeah, exactly. Where is that all going? Bullying is like, nobody likes that word bullying, but the rough and tumble of school playground life is an important part of play. Bullying is basically where play crosses the line. Bullying is where you learn, that I used to get punched more often than I inflicted pain on anyone else at school.
Me too, yeah.
And I learned valuable lessons. It was, don't try and use your fucking linguistic facility and fluency to ridicule a bloke who's 6 inches taller than you.
One of the other things she said that really bugged me, I've read this story far too many times. She said, we often see kids aimlessly wander in the playground. We want every second at school to count. There's nothing wrong with aimlessly wandering the playground. Like, it's the same as like time when you're just not looking at your phone and you're looking at a wall. That is golden time. That's really important time. Where you defrag your fucking brain.
You need to learn how to use a certain amount of self-discipline in order to snap back into reality when you need to as well. To be just kept permanently on rails means you'll never learn how to use a road.
I honestly think what most people think on this is it's fucking mental. This woman is a menace and she needs to be stopped. We've had a tweet from Health Secretary Matt Hancock telling us to enjoy the sun. I don't know about you, but what point did he become like a hesitant stepdad to the nation?
Or is he trying to go for one of those soul bra kind of Twitter accounts that they have, like the frog Twitter from America that just go sun and steel, Mishima, lifting weights and tanning your bollocks is the way to establish your manhood. I'd like to see Hancock going down that route, to be honest. A bit more, Bronze Age pervert from him would be good.
It's beyond the nanny state, isn't it? It's the stepdad state. I think.
Yeah.
It's someone who has come into your life that doesn't really have like an official. It can work very well as a relationship. I had a great stepdad myself, but it's still a difficult one, isn't it? Because they don't have an official mandate.
No, you feel you don't sort of recognise any genetic affinity with Matt Hancock, and then here he is sort of advising you to get through your adolescence. I don't know. I mean, I find it slightly sinister because my suspicion is that they are up. You can have one of 2 dystopias. Either this is all our government does now, basically, it's like a series of sort of like health centre leaflets and pastoral shaded posters, or that's to distract us while they do go off and consult with the World Economic Forum about the Great Reset. You've got those 2 options, and it's like neither of them are very sort of reassuring.
If you listen to this outside the UK and you haven't caught up with this story, there was an RS teacher at a grammar school in Batley, which is in Yorkshire. Is that right, Simon? Yeah, be in Yorkshire. And he showed images of the cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad to 13 to 14-year-old students. And there was a backlash from some angry parents. He was promptly suspended, pending gross misconduct charges. I think that's what they've leveled against him. And I suppose, like, the first thing is we don't have blasphemy laws in the UK, and this does bring up this problem that's happened before. Is this clash between certain religious principles and the actual rule of law in this country. I mean, we simply, I don't really know what the legal basis is that the school think they had for suspending him.
It's an ad hoc and sort of contingency response, isn't it? I think it's an attempt to kind of calm the situation down and take the heat out of it, but I think it's badly misguided. I think it's a terrible precedent they've set.
It is. You just cannot cross this line where if people are angry or upset enough that you have concessions to the rule of law.
Yeah, I agree, because that's, if you leave it lying there, it's like they've chucked some kind of seeds over the line, and if you don't clear them up immediately, then they take root, and that's the new line.
This pathological fear of seeming even like vaguely racist means that the left often take refuge in arguments and make fuck all sense.
Well, the safety issue is the big thing, and you're absolutely right. This has become like the key weapon to use in any attempt to get your own way, like in what is generally termed, social justice movements or whatever. I think the trans movement may have like really, I don't know whether it was like a trial and error thing when they suddenly found safety that unlocks the door. Suddenly you're in. As soon as they say you're putting children's lives at risk, in a society such as it is now, as we've seen obviously with the pandemic, then it just utterly extinguishes and smothers any other kind of debate or line of attack.
And then they started bringing in your children's safety is at risk, and there were these coded allusions to being taught about same-sex marriages. And I just thought it was a strangely British moment where I just thought, you know what, no one is going to stop my son being taught about gays. I mean, let's go throw it the other way. Showing that cartoon to 13 to 14-year-old kids, I mean, like on a person-by-person basis, is there an argument that he could have just gone, maybe a shit idea?
Even if it was a misjudgment, which I would say it wasn't a misjudgment, but maybe it could have been described verbally. The thing with cartoons is they have no sort of intrinsic artistic worth, so you can probably use a couple of dozen sentences would describe the entire situation without needing to demonstrate the picture. I guess that would have been fine,
But there is context here. I mean, he is a religious studies teacher, so there is a possible reason for him showing it. I mean, if this had been a PE teacher going, hey lads, do you want to see this? I mean, I do think that then you
want to see my new tattoo of Muhammad I've had done on my ass?
I do think that then you're arguably in slightly different territory. There was an article by Matthew Paris a while ago about like, are you a conservative? If you are, you tend to think these things. And one of the key ones for me is that old one about taking on the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. And I'm definitely, a pragmatist. And, it comes to, and that applies to something like gender, where sort of people talk about the possibility of living in a completely gender fluid society. And I just think, I just whether or not all of it is scientifically proved, I look around me and I see so much evidence that this shit is way more baked in than we realise.
John Randolph of Roanoke, who I mentioned earlier as one of my great sort of 19th century conservatives, gave a great speech in which he kicks off by sort of emphasizing the broken and irredeemable nature of man by reminding us that the firstborn was a murderer. Cain, the first man born of woman, not just cultivated out of the dry clay, was a murderer. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that's an historical fact. It's a mythical proposition, but it's one that suggests that people recognize our fundamental nature.
Or just the way that probability works. There's always going to be so many murderers. It just happened at the very first time.
It's unfortunate.
It was just jolly bad luck that the first one out what was a murderer. Eve herself, she was a little bit like, I always thought there's something a bit Macbethy about, there's a certain kind of wife that's sort of cajoling her husband into making bad decisions. And just by bad chance, the very first woman was that as well. And also the very first man, Adam, was a bit of a gullible prick. So straight out of the gate.
Well, this is it. They did the hard learning so that we don't have to. And that's, of course, what they should be teaching in religious education instead of topical cartooning, probably.
The very first thing that God did in the sort of Christian understanding was a bit sort of smashed windows, wasn't it? Zero tolerance, Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
One strike.
Out.
It's very hard to reconcile yourself to a God like that, but you go, fuck it,
On the other hand, it's kind of in that you had one job kind of territory, isn't it? He literally, the whole garden. You get all the garden, all
Yeah.
of the beasts of the field, fruit hanging, low hanging fruit. You know, you're not being expected to till and plow.
Yeah.
Just don't eat that apple, that
But
one
then,
apple.
were they not like the lion in Toby Young's analogy, essentially in captivity and ultimately destined to live a more risky but fulfilling
Yeah.
life?
Paradise is lovely as long as there is a gate in the wall, as long as there is
Yeah,
a door and you haven't tested it and it isn't locked, then you can live happily in paradise. As soon as you test the door and you realize it's locked, then it's hard to be at rest, isn't it?
How will the universe end? Big crunch, big bounce, big
Wow.
rip, or big freeze?
A funny coincidence. I was actually reading T.S. Eliot's *The Hollow Men* earlier today because it came up in something else. You know, this is how the world will end, not with a bang, but a whimper.
Mm.
And that I think is accurate. That's what I think. I think he penetrates to the heart of things there. I think it will dwindle.
There'll be one solitary Guardian reader left saying, "Hate to say I told you so." That's what they will they will ensure that their people live on long enough to just have the smug final word.